Hey everybody, it's Thursday. I'm Yami and let's vlog about video games. Now I can start. So, once again, nothing happened. You know, these months are just so slow. Let's hope E3 kicks things up for the news and me, the show, because this is I've got little to work with, people. Alright, so in interesting news, Nintendo finally learned that advertising is very important, and they are going to make Mario Kart 8's marketing campaign run through the rest of 2014. What Nintendo doesn't realize, though, is that usually marketing stops. Usually, the Year of Luigi good marketing campaign, it kept going. It was like not a year, it was more than a year. So they don't have a good sense of when things should stop for marketing, I've come to realize. Not that it's bad at all that they're marketing Mario Kart 8. For the love of God, market something. And do it well. It really depends on if they're going to do it well, because, oh my god, if they don't. What do they do? Hire me. Hire me and I'll do it. I'll do it well. Trust me. Okay, so Mario Kart 8 is coming out May 30th. They're gonna do it for like in a whole year? That's a lot of money on marketing. Moving on, The Walking Dead Season 2 Episode 3 is finally going to connect with the 400 Days characters. I don't know if you guys have been thinking this, but I've been thinking it. I've been like, where the hell are all these 400 Days people? Why did I play that DLC if they're not going to show up? 400 Days, I feel, was so unmemorable to me, especially after Season 1, which was like the most memorable experience in recent years. And it's cool to hear that finally the things that I did in 400 Days are actually going to matter. Or will they? Who knows? They might just be tacked on the side because we have characters that are already important within Season 2 of The Walking Dead, so why would they just tack on these people, like, to make them as important? No, they're not going to do that. They'll probably just tack them on, and I see it not really being that big of a deal, and I don't think it's going to matter much, is basically what I'm trying to say here. Do you disagree? Murdered Soul Suspect released a trailer. For whom the bell tolls, right? I hate myself. I'm one of the seemingly non-existent people that are looking forward to Murdered Soul Suspect because I'm a huge Ghost Trick fan, and this looks like Ghost Trick but with LA Noire. And while I think that LA Noire was not a good game, I love Noire. That's all I need. Ghost Trick and Noire. Done. A game called Without Memory was announced for PS4 exclusively, and the developer said that Quantic Dream games are what have inspired him to make Without Memory, and already I'm like, oh, then you mean it's not going to be good, is what you're trying to say. No, I should probably wait to see, and I will. I'm cautiously optimistic. The thing is that it won't be good. I play Quantic Dream games because I keep wanting them to be good, and I keep hoping that they will be, and constantly I'm let down. For games that could be so incredible and bridge the gap between movies and gaming, surprisingly can't do it because the writing's terrible and the story's convoluted and loopholes abound. Drive Club is releasing on October 7th. Is Drive Club the one where you can go from Miami to New York? I kinda really want that. Is it though? I don't know if that's the one. Whatever, the one that you could drive, let's just change it. If it's not Drive Club, I'll talk about that one. I'll talk about the one that I want. The one that I want is the one that you could drive across the country. There was this game that came out, and tell me if you remember it. It might have just been called Drive. The premise was drive across the country to pay off your debt. Blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't actually driving across the country. There were like stages. I don't remember the name of it. I enjoyed it. I beat it in like 3 hours. That was shortest game of life. Basically, this is going to be the game that I wanted that game to be, is what I'm trying to say. Left 4 Dead is headed to Japanese arcades, once again proving to America that Japanese arcades are better than American arcades. So Nintendo's not having a conference at E3, which to me is okay. I went 2 years ago. It was the most boring thing in the world, and I felt really bad because when you're watching it on a stream, you could say, oh, this shit sucks. But when you're there in person, it's really awkward, and you can't be like in your seat, oh, this shit sucks. So I was like just sitting there just, oh my god. When is it gonna end? Super Smash, I guess, would be the main thing that they'd show. Do they have anything new? If you're a Nintendo fan, you could go to the site, and Andy wrote up an article about how Nintendo doesn't need a press conference at E3 anyway. Fanboy, am I right? The Last Tinker, City of Colors. I keep almost saying Last Tinker, Soldier Spy, or whatever the fuck the name of That movie is. The Last Tinker, City of Colors, is going to be coming out on May 12th. I'm really excited for it because it looks a lot like Psychonauts and Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, that era of video games that I loved, and platforming galore. Not only that, but the developer has actually said that they are diving into serious topics with this game, like culture and racism. It seems like it's gonna be right up my alley. So if you are into that type of stuff, not if you're into this sounded bad. Mass Effect Trilogy coming to PS4 and Xbox One because an online retailer said so. I'm not one to actually believe anything that online retailers say. I basically only listen when the developer or the publisher says something. A Mass Effect Trilogy on PS4 and Xbox One. Sure. I love Mass Effect with all my heart. I understand me having Final Fantasy VIII and Final Fantasy IX on CD and then wanting them on the PSN store or on Steam, but then I already have Mass Effect. With Mass Effect, it just seems a little too soon, you know. Site stuff, look at twinfinite.net. That's site stuff. Buy our shirt, and when you do, send us a picture on Twitter at twinfinite and with you wearing the shirt. You could just not wear anything else. Oh, what's that, HR? You say that they have to be wearing pants. Okay, you have to be wearing pants. I'm sorry. You should also check out the new Two Friends in a Backlog episode where me and Andy play Sumitory Dreams, and it is hilarious because it's basically just like drunk people the game. Oh, and we're currently giving away a bunch of shit, like every week. What a surprise. Check out twinfinite.net. Site stuff is a silly, silly section of the show. Question Corner time. Question Corner is a section of vlogging about video games where you ask me the questions and I'll answer them. It's a lot like Twinfinite Discusses, but shut up, because it's just me. At Orejils Ishmael Romero. How do you feel about Nintendo not having a stage event or even at the upcoming E3? I already said it at the beginning of this episode. Why don't you listen to me? Oh my god. To me, at least, I know that people will disagree with me, and that's fine, but to me it means that they don't have anything to show. And that's sort of what they say when they don't have one. You know, the people that want to defend Nintendo will say, no, but, you know, they don't have to. To me, as a consumer, that's what it says, and I think it's a bad message. I thought that they would do a conference and announce that new IP, but now I'm just questioning whether they'll ever announce that. So I assume they have a Nintendo Direct. I assume. Like, they gotta. I'm Mr. T. Hager. What do you make of the whole early access that a lot of developers are going for? Making dev faster or just more money? I've spoken about this a lot, but I'll speak about it again, because I hate it! I hate it. If it helps developers, then good for them. But for me, I don't like the idea of paying $20 to beta test. Or upwards of $20 sometimes. Lower of $20. Whatever. Any amount of money. I don't fucking like it. And as a reviewer, I have a lot of situations where I'm very confused about what I should give the score, whether I should give the score or whether I should just consider it a preview, and then every sentence ends with me saying, well, it might get better because it's still in development, and I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be better. I don't know if it's going to be worth the money, so I can't tell people that read my review if it's going to be worth their money. At PapaChem Media. If all the game systems made after 2002 exploded and or stopped working, what system would you play for the rest of your life? The PS2. If the PS2 came out before 2002. I think it came out in 2000. PS2, for sure, because largest library, I love, like, majority of that library, and PlayStation backwards compatibility, the PS1. Second, I always have to get, like, my top three. I suck at saying, oh, what's your all-time... Whenever someone asks me anything of, oh, what's your all-time favorite blank, I'm always like, oh, God, let me give you my top three. Nintendo 64 would be second because I can play it with my friends, and they have an incredible back library. Also, like, the PS2. I think the PS2 has a bigger one, though, but the N64 has, like, a cutesy one, and it's got all the Pokemon games, and I love them. Great party games on that one all around. And then the third one would be Super Nintendo, because that is, like, my system. It's the one that I started with. There was a Nintendo in my household, but the Super Nintendo always attracted me more because it was newer graphics. Also, what type of freaking Skynet-ass world are we living in that all systems after 2002 exploded? Alright, that's all I have for you guys this week. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below about any of the topics that I discussed. I know you're probably wondering what I thought about The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Well, watch tomorrow's Gaming Happens. And I will tell you that I rented it from Redbox. I spent $2 on it, and I'm very glad that I only spent $2 on it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for always watching. Thank you so much for always liking and commenting. Alright, guys, I'll see you tomorrow for Gaming Happens.